So good evening everyone. In last lecture we have just started semiconductor. In this lecture we are going to discuss something more detailed about semiconductor. So guys, first thing you have to understand what is the energy bands in semiconductor. What I have usually discussed in last, like in semiconductor energy band gap is there, valence band, conduction band, we understand in this lecture. What is valence band, guys? The energy band which includes the energy level of valence electron is called valence band. So valence electron are those electron which usually found in the outermost orbit of any atom. So valence electrons energy is associated with valence band. Conduction band is just above the energy band, above the valence band is called conduction band. Normally in semiconductor it is empty. Conduction band is empty and there is a gap between valence band and conduction band, as you have seen in this last lecture which we have discussed. And there is a gap between conduction band and valence band. This is known as energy gap. So guys, this energy gap between top of valence band and bottom of conduction band is called energy gap. What is top of valence band and bottom of conduction band? See guys, this is valence band, this is the highest level of valence band, and this is the lowest level of conduction band. So lowest energy level of conduction band is denoted by EC, and highest level energy in valence band is denoted by EV. These are energy states. This I am drawing, these are energy state, guys. So what usually happens, electrons are found usually in this energy states, and you are seeing that no electron can be found out in this gap which is known as forbidden energy gap. So forbidden energy gap, there is no energy states are found. That's why all electron either they can remain in the valence band or they can jump into conduction band. Suppose guys, what happens, I have taken one electron which is earlier in valence band. Now we have given some energy to this electron, so this electron will jump to this conduction band and this becomes free electrons. Now this becomes free electron. That means I can say that there is a vacancy created here. The vacancy created here because this electron jumps from this level to this level. So this vacancy which is created because of this holes, actually this electron jumps here, this is filled by this electron. So this electron jumps here and fill this vacancy. So what will happen guys, as a result you will see that this vacancy is created here, there is a vacancy created here. So this vacancy, I can say that this vacancy is again filled by, this is a vacancy created here. So this vacancy is created by this this filled by this electrons. So what is happening guys, in valence band electrons actually jump from one place to another place to fill the vacancy, and this vacancy which is created in conduction band, in valence band, which is called holes guys. So holes is always created in valence band, and as electron jumps from valence band to conduction band, free electron always found out in valence conduction band. So I am writing as here, free electron always present in conduction band, as I have written also here. Free electrons are found here, and bounded electron which are not free to take part in reaction, bounded electron are found here, as well as some holes also found here guys. These holes means vacancy created by electron, vacancy created by electron is holes, vacancy created by electron is holes which is found in valence band guys. Now semiconductor energy band structure is affected by doping. Suppose if you are making extrinsic semiconductor to then what will happen, guys? You have to dope to intrinsic semiconductor, because doping means process of adding impurity. So in this case, extrinsic semiconductor, additional energy state is created because of this doping. External energy state is created, and this is known as donor impurity in case of N type and acceptor impurity in case of P type semiconductor. So guys, what is this donor and acceptor impurity level? So I'm just taking this is N type semiconductor, guys. So this is just below the conduction level, just below the conduction energy band. There is a level which is donor impurity level, and just above the valence band, there is a energy level which is acceptor energy level. So this energy state is additionally created because of doping. You have to keep in mind, guys, this gap is from 0.01 to 0.05, 0.01 to 0.05 electron volt. For silicon it is 0.01 electron volt, and for germanium it is 0.05 electron volt. Now guys, there is one more important law, mass action law, which says that electron and hole concentration in a semiconductor in thermal equilibrium is given by Ne represents the number of electron or electron concentration into hole concentration is equal to Ni square. Ni stand for intrinsic. So guys, I can say that if you increase anything like number of electrons, if you increase, holes will decrease automatically, such that product of number of electrons into number of holes will remains always equal to intrinsic concentration square. That means what I want to say that, guys, suppose I have done N type of doping. So what happens in N type of doping? Number of electrons increases, because N types is pentavalent, and pentavalent has excessive electron. So 4 electrons combined with other 4 electron, but one excess electron remaining. So it creates number of excess number of electrons. So guys, if number of electrons I have taken, this is actually Nd, that is donor ion concentration. It is usually denoted in cubic centimeter or cubic meter. So guys, this is majority carrier, because I told you that number of electrons is more. This is majority carrier. So minority carrier is holes. Because holes concentration can be written out from this mass action law, guys. If you see this from this mass action law, hole concentration can be written as Ni square upon Ne. So Ni square upon Ne can be written as Ni square upon Nd. This is minority carrier concentration, and you are seeing that minority carrier concentration is inversely proportional to this number of. So you are saying that if you are increasing the doping, concentration of minority carrier goes on decreasing, guys, because if you increase the number of electrons by doping it N type, so hole concentration goes on decreasing. That is why in N type electrons are in majority. Similarly in P types holes are in majority. So this is actually the 10, since electron in excess, so N type has a tendency to donate, and since there is a vacancy, so P type has a tendency to accept. That is why P type is also known as acceptor type impurity. So P type is nothing but acceptor type impurity. Here NH is equal to number of holes is equal to Na, which is acceptor ion concentration, and here electron ion concentration is equal to Ni square upon Na. Or I can say that, guys, Na is equal to Ni square upon Ne. Means if you see the concentration of holes increases, so electron concentration will decreases, such that its product will always equal to constant, which is Ni square. This you have to understand. Some question may be asked in near future on this formula, so you have to take care of this formula. Now at end I have just summarized P and N type, which is very important, and for objective point of view these questions are very important. So N type semiconductor can be formed by adding trivalent impurity. So if we are adding trivalent impurity to a intrinsic semiconductor, you can find p-type semiconductor, and if you add pentavalent impurity to intrinsic semiconductor, that is n-type semiconductor. I have given example BALIN, boron, aluminium, indium. So these are the examples of trivalent. Phosphorus, antimony, bismuth, these are the examples of pentavalent. These are acceptor type impurity. Why this is acceptor type, guys? Because it has one vacancy, because trivalent has one vacancy na, because 3 combines with 3, but the fourth one actually is nothing here, so the vacancy created, so it has tendency to accept. Pentavalent, it is excess of electron, that is it is known as donor type of impurities. Now guys, holes are in majority carrier here. I told you na, holes are majority carrier for p type, electrons are majority carrier in n type. Although p and n types are electrically neutral, sometimes they will ask you p type has vacancy, n type has excess, but what is the things is important, they are electrically neutral. Now most important point from where my next lecture will start, which is the structure of p type and n type. Guys, since it has tendency to accept, so negative charge will come here. This negative charge does not come in this negative ions, actually acceptation tendency it has negative, because guys I can give you example. So Na plus Cl minus, because you know that sodium has 281 and chlorine has 287, it has a tendency to accept, that is why this minus charge comes here, and it has a tendency to donate, that's why plus charge here. So this is acceptor type of ions, that is why p type I am writing as, but this is negative ions. This is very important point you have to keep in mind. And n type, if I am talking as, n type has excess, it has a tendency to donate, donor type, that is why positive. And this I have made, this is holes guys, holes in excess, and some electron is also there, but that is negligible, very small amount. Some holes are also there, this is electrons guys, these are electrons. So electrons in excess, this positive ions in n type and negative ions in p type. Mobility is less for p type semiconductor and mobility is more for n type semiconductor, and that is why guys n type semiconductor is mostly used. So these all things you have to keep in mind, and then we will start p-n junction in next class. So thank you.